Hello, Sagittarius. This is your love and relationships reading for April 2017. A card did flip over. What was it? It was Three of Pentacles. Okay. Your first card is Nine of Wands reversed, and wands are your element. They represent fire. Two of Wands. Ace of Pentacles. This is the Hermit in reverse. I have the Emperor. This is Page of Pentacles. So Pentacles seem to be complementing these wands you have. And then we have two strong major arcana here with the Hermit and the Emperor. This is Death. I have a Four of Wands reversed. And then I have a Five of Pentacles reversed. Now that is interesting. So some of these pentacles and wands that were here in the beginning seem to, after death appears, it seems like things go through a little bit of a transition. And you do have three major arcana here. Little bit of changes and adjustments that are under your influence. So when if I see a lot of major arcana, let's say that I see 4 or 5, it sort of signals that there are big changes that you have no control over. You have 3. You go from the Hermit in reverse, which is all about wisdom and taking time alone to meditate, to balance yourself, understanding a situation. So when this is in reverse, it means that maybe you're trying to make adjustments. Maybe you're cutting people off. You're not connected to your relationships. Sometimes it means that you may need to, when it's reversed, sometimes it may mean that you need to do a transition or make a change in your life where you need to find to reach out to different people, to sort of move on. Okay? You might be a little stuck. But I am looking at these wands that came out right out of the gate. You have 2 wands right here, and then this 4 of Wands. So when you go from the Hermit, which means having to adjust, being isolated, and not pulling out of a rut. Then we have the Emperor, which is all about structure, having good boundaries, and being able to deal with things you have no control over, because the Emperor does represent authority. It also represents balance as well. It's about having balance and being reasonable and just looking at things, solving the problem, and being able to move on. And Sagittarius, you of all people are able to do that, because your sign are usually, it represents people who know what they're talking about, who know what they want. They cut through the BS really, really quickly. They identify it and they say, okay, this is the change I'm going to make. This is the decision that I'm going to make. So this Emperor here in the middle of your card is a very good energy to have here in the middle of your spread. Okay? And usually the Emperor is associated with Aries, but once again, Sagittarius, people who have the sign of Sagittarius are usually very straightforward. They know what they want. They're very confident about the direction that they're going in, and they know how to take care of themselves. So these wands and your major arcana are very significant to where we have this death. It seems like these major arcana are lining up very well with the wands energy, the fire energy. You have 3 wands, 3 major arcana. So in your future, you do have death. You do have closure. And once again, Sagittarius, you are the sign that has no problem with that. You have no problem saying, okay, this comes to an end. This stops now if there are relationship issues. But what I do see is that this change is going to end up reversing a number of things. This Four of Wands is about getting past obstacles, being able to celebrate freedom and get away from the things that are repressing you. Okay? So after this difficult change, some adjustments here, because you also have this Five of Pentacles and you have these three pentacles all lining up. But when I get this Five of Pentacles in reverse, I'm seeing, usually this card is the card about poverty, being afraid of losing things, being afraid of being abandoned and not having the resources that you need, and feeling isolated and lonely. So this theme of being isolated and you can't be bothered with the relationship, or you can't be bothered with this person. This could be the Pentacles energy of the other person, where they come to you, they're in the relationship, and then for some reason the Pentacles, there's a little bit of loss, there's a little bit of regret. Okay, so this future, I'm seeing death bringing these swift changes, taking away and putting closure on certain things, having to suffer a loss. And whatever it is you're going to lose in this relationship, maybe someone does want space, maybe someone does want to keep it casual. That might be difficult to adjust to, especially with your Four of Wands in reverse. And then the other energy is this Five of Pentacles in reverse. This doesn't necessarily have to be permanent. And also keep in mind that when we have reversals, it's not necessarily that this is it's a permanent reversal. Usually when I look at reversals, I'm seeing an obstacle that pops up in a relationship. And until you get past that obstacle, then things are going to be a little wonky, a little chaotic, depending on what the card is. But they're just obstacles to get past to future happiness. And so whenever you get reversals, whether it's cups, wands, swords, or pentacles, or major arcana, any reversal of a card, it's only the tarot saying this is going to be an obstacle, and it's an obstacle that you'll eventually get past if that's your free will, if that's what you choose to do. But this is the obstacle that's going to come up in your path. It's not going to determine the rest of your life, but whether it brings permanent change or temporary change, it's still an obstacle you have to get past. So backtracking to this first card here, this Nine of Pentacles is about having the courage to face those obstacles, having the resolve to say, I need to address this. Sometimes it can be a little defensive. But the interesting thing is that when this is in reverse, yes, this is your obstacle. It's saying that you need to trust yourself again. You need to depend on yourself again. And Sagittarius, I know you will not have any problem with that, because what's coming next is that you have this lovely pair of Two of Wands, and twos are always about that balance, harmony, and unity, this passion and this drive for success. You may need to wait a little bit, but you're still on the right path, okay? You still have a way forward. So Two of Wands is very positive. You're preparing for a favorable change. You're looking forward to plans working out in this relationship. You might feel very positive. This Ace of Pentacles is always about new beginnings. And my interpretation of this card in the context of relationships is always about the beginning of a relationship, people starting to date. the material and physical aspects of a relationship where people see each other, they start calling each other, they start getting to know each other. I think of it as someone calling and initiating relationships. So aces are all about new beginnings, and when I see pentacles in a relationship reading, this means that maybe there's a new opportunity for a relationship, new beginnings, even if the relationship was long-term. Okay? So when we get to your present energies in April, what the past is going to influence here, remember what I said about that Hermit, that sometimes, Sagittarius, you cannot hide. You cannot say, this situation, this person, they're not doing what I want, they're not compromising, so I'm just going to shut off completely. And that's when you have that Emperor, which is about establishing boundaries, and the Page of Pentacles, which is about figuring things out, sorting out your feelings, letting things settle down. That's also another interpretation. And I've always seen the Pentacles, remember, pages represent beginners. They represent being new and naive and a little bit innocent. And they can also represent messages. So when I see this Ace of Pentacles with this Page of Pentacles right under it, it's sort of telling me that in this relationship, it feels as if some of you Sagittarius are sort of undecided about certain things that are going on in a relationship. Like, I want to give this person a chance, but maybe I'm being too defensive. I do feel an energy or chemistry with this person, but I'm afraid to be the one to take the first step. I'm kind of hesitant that this person isn't really connected to me. Okay? And so, yeah, that's always a cause for hesitation. What I'm seeing here in the future for some of you, which can be interpreted in a number of ways, because not all of you Sagittarius people have the same journey or path in this relationship. All of you are in different dilemmas. But there is going to be a huge change or closure. And that doesn't mean that a relationship's coming to an end. It means that there are certain things in the relationship, certain things that are ending that might be for the good. And sometimes you may need to do that. Yes, for some of you, this could mean a detachment, a breakup, or someone else making certain decisions that change the relationship in a way that's permanent and you can't go back to the way things used to be. Seeing that you have all these little beginnings and this unity and harmony and balance and this sorting things out, trying to get through the chaos and have some order. It could be that these changes that need to be made in the relationship are kind of going to be setbacks, but they're not going to be setbacks forever. It seems like there's some growth and transformation that needs to happen in the relationship. I'm also feeling for Sagittarius that some of you will need to make some tough decisions and start standing up for yourself and saying, okay, I'm going to just deal with this. I'm just going to let the chips fall where they may. And it's going to be a setback, but I'm going to work through that. So when I see that Four of Wands, when I see your passion and energy and desire and your motivation taking a huge hit here after death appears, I see that there's a little bit of a delay, but I still think that there are good things that are still going to happen. Okay? I see this card indicating that this obstacle, it's going to be a little bit difficult to figure out in the relationship as far as how you're feeling about this person or what's going to happen. But I do feel that you're going to get through that. That Five of Pentacles, remember what I said about the Five of Pentacles. Usually, as far as pentacles, which represent coins, it can be about actual money issues, being afraid of losing money or maybe not getting a raise. When we look at relationships, I see that maybe this change or problem that you're getting through will require losing a relationship, just giving things space and letting someone go. But it doesn't mean that's for the wrong reasons. Sometimes I feel like that's what needs to happen. Okay? The only difference between this card being upright and being reversed is that when it's reversed, it means that you don't have any hope, that you do regret certain things that have happened. And keep in mind that doesn't rule out that this is what the other person is going through. You're going through a loss here with the Four of Wands reversed. This other person is also going through a loss in a different way. And they might actually feel sorry that if death brings a breakup, you're going to feel sort of a setback, and this other person is going to be like, yeah, I kind of miss that person too. So that your future, this last row here, is pretty interesting. But I don't think you should feel hopeless. I don't think you should be depressed. I don't think you should be panicking, because I still feel like this death, this energy of death, is bringing closure to a lot of things that could be potential obstacles in the future for the relationship. And I feel like for the other person, they are going on their own timetable. They are sort of moving a little bit slower, because Pentacles are always the slowest energy in the tarot. But you might feel impatient in this relationship and say, I don't have time for this, or I don't know what to do. But this death, this is going to kind of sort things out a little bit. So don't be afraid. Don't start panicking. Don't start thinking that a lot of bad things are coming. In the context of all the other cards, especially with the Hermit in reverse and the Emperor, I feel like the tarot, the overall message the tarot is trying to bring to you is that there will be difficult changes that you can't be afraid of stepping back from, which is why I think this Nine of Wands is reversed and the Hermit is right under it in reverse. Get your energy back. Get that Sagittarius spirit back and just get through it. Okay? Accept what is and trust yourself. Trust the value you're bringing into this relationship, even though this other person is not quite on the same page as you. Because I feel like this person does feel attached to you, especially with that Two of Wands in the past. So I'm shuffling for that outcome card. Okay. All right, your outcome card is the Sun, which is wonderful because the Sun brings a little bit of light and fire and heat, which is definitely something Sagittariuses are associated with. So this is kind of wonderful that there might be some obstacles here with this other person, and you two, for some of you, it might mean a breakup. And understanding how much you two mean to each other. That's one interpretation. So that, like I said, don't be afraid when this change or challenge or closure comes, because I feel like on the other side, when you have the Sun, it's sort of going to say you made it through. You two can see clearly. You can see each other realistically. You can see the future. You can see the potential of the relationship. You're going to feel much more optimistic. You're going to feel everything is going to be okay. And that is going to, and usually when obstacles and challenges come into our lives, that's usually the cycle most things take, that they're difficult, but once you get through them, you're going to come out of it stronger and more optimistic. So, yeah, this might be getting difficult for a few weeks, but you'll get past it and you're going to come out on top again, Sagittarius. So that is your reading. So thank you so much, everybody, for your support. And I hope for some of you who said, I think there was one person who said, why is Sagittarius always getting the short readings? I didn't time this reading, so I hope it was long enough for you. And if you guys are interested in getting a reading, look in the description of the video. You can also contact me through this email, airewand@gmail.com, and I will send you a link on how to make an appointment. So thank you so much. Take care. I will see you next month, and I wish you love and light.